What's good, y'all? This is Let's Get It with Coach Los. I'm your host, Coach Los AC, certified life and relationship coach that helps people fix or find the relationships they want. And this podcast covers the best relationship advice, tools, and action steps to get the results you want in your personal, professional, and of course, love life. So I hope you get a lot of value from the episode. And if you do, as always, remember to like and subscribe so you can be notified when I drop new episodes. Let's get it. What do you do whenever you backslide and you go back to your ex? That person you swore you were never going to go back to again, and you know your life was better without them because of all the pain they caused you and all that stuff. But even still, you wound up circling the block. You couldn't resist. You sent that text message, right? You started looking at the social media long enough, and you just had to call them and, see how they're doing and just see if there's something still there. You're starting to reconnect a little bit. And then you wind up even sleeping with them, right? But now you're feeling guilty, feeling shameful. You're seeing some of the same little small patterns again that you saw the first time around when you broke up that told you you weren't going to go back to this again. Now you're kicking yourself and feeling like you can't trust yourself now, right? You're feeling like, I'm a horrible person. How could I come back to this person? How can I let them enter my space again like this whenever they did all these wrong things to me? And then you really start trying to ask yourself, am I strong enough to do this? What's wrong? Why can't I stay away from this person, right? When they've done so much. Then you start to build a sense of resentment for yourself. And then overall, you start to scare yourself because you're not sure if you'll ever be able to actually break this cycle. And you fear that your ex has this hold over you, right? And you really have a hard time forgiving yourself for allowing this person back into your life or for going back, and you think of yourself as being weak. The first thing I need you to do is stop self-judgment. Do not judge yourself for making a misstep. You're still going through a healing process. It is a process. With a person, no matter how unhealthy they were for you or no matter what they did to you, at some point they were your attachment figure. They were the person that you invested your emotions into and you connected and bonded with to whatever level, which means they were an integral part of helping you to meet your needs. Even when they're not meeting those needs or helping you meet them in a healthy way, they still were a crucial part of a part of yourself as a human that you require, which is your needs to be a healthy person or to be happy or whatever the case is. You got a sense of certainty out of them, right? Reassurance on some level. You get a sense of surprise and mystery and excitement from them on some level. You mattered to them or to someone. You were significant in some way. You got connection and love on some sort of a fashion. They helped you grow maybe, right? Tried new things you never tried before. And maybe they even contributed to what you love to do in life. Somewhere in that spectrum, they helped you meet one of those needs, right? And even more so, they helped you meet multiple of those needs in one place. Whenever you get 3 or more of your core human needs met in one space, one place with one thing or one person, you'll do anything to hold on to them. And it's a really difficult time for your system, right? Your body, your vessel, your nervous system to work them out of your system. Because when they get wired in there, your body, your brain subconsciously and your body are designed to hold on to things that seemingly make sense or that you've told it is what we require, what's good for us, what makes us feel good. And it holds on to that formula. And its job is to make sure you can do whatever you can to keep going back and getting that if you feel you've lost it. So you need to offer yourself grace when you have this misstep. You go back, even though you told yourself you'll never let your ex enter your space again after all the things they've done. It's okay that it happened. It's not okay if you allow it to continue happening, right? It's not okay if you don't learn from the misstep and you don't start to do better going forward. But offer yourself the grace to understand that, hey, I thought I was there. I thought I was gonna be strong enough just yet, but I'm not there just yet. This just showed me that I have to double down on focusing on me and what I need to nurture my wounds. Focus on what the misstep is teaching you, not the result of the misstep. Yeah, if anything, if you want to focus on the result of the misstep is how you felt as a result of it, right? The shame, the guilt you're feeling. That's really just your spirit in here screaming out, hey, I care about us enough. I care about you enough to where I'm letting you know this doesn't sit well with me because I know how much this can harm us again, right? And I want us to be better for it. That's what that signal's there to tell you. That's what that feeling of guilt and shame is that inner you saying, hey, we deserve better. Let's go get better. But do not let that signal confuse you for you needing to kick yourself and be down and say, hey, you're not, valuable, or that you don't care about yourself enough. No. See, what people don't understand is whenever you feel a deep sense of shame and guilt, right, and you have a hard time forgiving yourself, that's the deepest level of actually caring about yourself and loving yourself. Because if you didn't care, if you didn't really value yourself, then it wouldn't matter to you that you went back to your ex, even though they do horrible things or they've done horrible things or whatever. Wouldn't be that deep for you. You say, well, I don't care. I enjoy them. I'm getting what I get out of them that does feel good until it doesn't, right? And I can accept that because, hey, I just want to get what I want to get. That's when you don't really care about you. But if it bugs you and bothers you that you went back and then, you wind up maybe even sleeping with them again when you said you'd never let them have that part of you again and you did it anyways, it's just a signal that your needs are still screaming out to be met from you. They need nurture still. And when you feel guilty about it, it's a sign that you actually do care. And it bothers you that, you trying to get your needs met, you feel you needed them to do that. So I need you to offer yourself grace. Recognize that guilt is really you caring about yourself on a super deep level, wanting yourself to do better. And then I want you to ask yourself, for what I went back for, what was the significant value I was hoping to get in going back to them? What was it that I feel I was going to get that dopamine hit of? Almost like a drug, right? What was going to be, scratching that itch that I was getting out of this situation? Because that is the nucleus of what you need to start learning how to offer yourself or find other healthier avenues to receive it or to get it, to meet that need. And this is also a great time and opportunity to notice and recognize what your patterns are. See, a lot of times we exhibit the same habits when we go through breakups with people and so forth. We do the same kind of stuff if we are just willing to look at our past history. So this is a great opportunity for you to recognize and look at what's happened in this past month or two or whatever, me being broken up with my ex, that goes in sync, right? Like pieces to a puzzle, a little formula of my emotions, maybe my headspace I've been in, the things I do that eventually led me back to reaching out to my ex and going back to them, right? What was my patterns? And where is there something in the pattern I need to break to catch and find the moment where my emotions started turning back towards thinking of them more, or my headspace I got and started be thinking about them more again. I started yearning to be back around them. What was happening at that time in my process? What was going on at that moment in my life that made me think they're the answer again and break my own rule to not go back? What was it? If I could figure out what it was, then now I can say, all right, that's where it all turned for me. And that's the void missing that I need to learn how to fill in for myself. So don't spend so much time kicking yourself and beating yourself down for that backslide. Spend time learning and being inquisitive to discover more about yourself that you don't know clearly, because if you knew it about yourself, you would never have backslid in the first place, because you would know how to nurture those emotions whenever those cravings are coming up to try to tell you to reach out and go get something that your system feels is good for it because you told it was for so long, right? Instead of being alarmed by it and feeling like, oh, you're weak. No, recognize what your system, your vessel is asking for. Seek understanding of yourself. Right. And the more you put energy into that and feed more into, well, what can I learn about myself through this? What am I learning that I didn't already know that I haven't mastered yet for myself? Self-mastery is our first mission here on this planet. Right. We have a purpose to live, and whatever that is for you, whatever your calling is. But we serve that best through understanding ourselves best, mastering ourselves. So all this setback really is an opportunity for you to get a rep in the gym, right? It's practice. It's letting you know, hey, we're not fully there maybe where we thought we were. We weren't ready for the commitment we made to ourselves. We weren't ready internally for it. We were ready up here mentally, but the rest of us hadn't caught up yet. Great, that's okay. Let me go learn why. Find a pattern, break it what needs to happen to create a new pattern, and that I need to become consistent around to make sure this new pattern becomes that new me the way I planned it to be. If you need help identifying your patterns to break your cycle of going back to the ex that you know is not good for you, so you don't keep yourself in a toxic pattern, either email me or DM me coaching, and we will get to work. Let's get it.